Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about Xpeng, how they closed their public offering. Now, Neo's in the process of doing this. I made several videos recently about how Neo is doing their public offering where they're selling, I think it was 50 million shares, similar to what Xpeng is selling. So they're in the process of doing that. However, Xpeng has already closed their deal. Now, I talked about Neo, how initially this is a bearish reaction. That's why we saw Neo push down. Just like Xpeng, we've seen Xpeng push down. Now, in case you are confused, it's a bearish scenario because we're adding more shares to their float, right? When you add something to something, it becomes less valuable because you have more of it. But that's just for the time being, right? Overall, this is still bullish news because they use this money. So they raised $2.5 billion because they sold 55.2 million shares, right? So that's around $2.5 billion, and those shares were sold at $45. Now this is bullish long term because they're expecting to use the profit, the $2.5 billion, for things such as research and development of its new software, sales and marketing expansion, and potential strategic investments in core technology of a smart EV. So they're basically doing the same thing that Neo's doing. Neo did the same public offering to raise capital for the same strategy. So they're bettering their technology, they're expanding their marketing, and they're expanding their overall EV company. So this is bullish in the long term. Even though we had this initial bearish reaction, guys, don't worry. It was just because we added more shares and it became less valuable for the time being. Tesla did the same thing, and we saw what happened to Tesla. Tesla had that initial pullback, but then it skyrocketed upwards. Same thing that's going to be happening with Xpeng. Now, their transactions already closed, right? So, whoever bought those option contracts got it for $45 a share, right? So, on Friday, we held this support as I was talking about. This 43, 44 area needed to hold. And guys, that's what happened. Even though we were down 49 cents on the day, we still held this mini support right here. I talked about in my previous Xpeng video that if we got below it, we were bearish and probably heading down to the stronger support. But we're still holding this little mini support right here, which is still bullish. I wouldn't be too worried, right? So if I'm playing this, I'd have a really tight stop loss on this, guys. I'd have it probably 42.33, honestly, and then I'd look to get back in at the 40.35, 40.26 range. Now, this is good for Xpeng though because that transaction already happened. We already saw that dip, so we know that this is out of the way. We don't have to worry about this anymore. The shares are already sold and added, so we don't have to worry about this. So I think this is when Xpeng starts to recover, right? Same with Neo. Now Neo, their transaction is happening next week. So we may see a little more sell-off on Neo when that transaction does happen. Just like with Tesla, we saw this happen right here. That was probably when the transaction happened for Tesla. But then look, guys, it recovered and we've gone up since then. Same with Xpeng, guys. The transaction happened. They've been sold already. And now we've already had that initial bearish reaction. So I think going forward, Monday, next week, I think we'll be bullish. Even though Neo hasn't done their transaction shouldn't affect how Xpeng moves. Now, typically, when Neo's up, Xpeng is up as well. But since there's news around this and something actually happened, they will follow separately. Because Neo's doing their transaction and Xpeng has already done their transaction. So overall, long term, this is good news for Xpeng. They've raised an additional $2.5 billion to contribute to more research, more market development. So they're looking to expand their market, possibly in Europe, like Neo's doing by 2020. This will just add more value to Xpeng as a whole. So if you're holding Xpeng right now, I know many of my viewers are and subscribers. Don't worry if you got in up here at the $50 range. I wouldn't panic just yet, right? I wouldn't even panic in general because you can hold those shares for however long you want to. It's different from option contracts. Option contracts have an expiration date, so if you were holding those, then yes, I would be a little bit worried. But since you're holding shares, there's nothing to worry about, guys. And if you have the ability to, if you have the capital left, if we ever get a dip buy to $40, I personally would buy more at that range. Now, if you don't, then just hold, wait, and that's the only thing you can do, right? But you don't want to panic sell right now, and then watch this thing turn around and head back past the area that you bought in at, and you could have made a profit. That will just destroy you mentally, and it will just make you never want to trade again. And that's not what I want to happen with you guys. I want to educate you, and I want to teach you how to trade in the stock market and also how to invest. So if you're looking to hold NEO 2 to 3 months from now, that's completely fine. So trading and investing is different now. I do both. I trade and I invest, and when I do my stop losses and my take profit, that's for trading. But if you're holding this from up here because you like Xpeng as a whole, you like the company, then don't worry, it will recover. It will just take some time. Like I said though, we've got this transaction out of the way. There's nothing else that should be holding us back. So I think Xpeng will be bullish for the rest of the year. Now that doesn't mean we won't have some more dips, but I think Xpeng is on the road to recovery. Now I know we hit highs of $75 at one time, so this was a massive dip. But on the long picture, this just looks like a good dip buy, right? If you zoom out, take a look at the bigger picture, this just looks like a perfect dip buy to get in. And like I said, the $40 mark would even look better. But if you're trading it, stop out right here, save you a couple dollars, and get back into $40. But if you're holding this as an investment, don't even worry. Xpeng will do perfectly fine, just like all these other Chinese EV companies. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see any specific videos, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Anyways, I will see you all in the next video.